What is up, traders? It's been a good week. Here we are. It's Tuesday, December 21st. So there you go. 2 days into the trading week, I've already gotten to the point in which I'm pretty happy with where I'm at. Waiting for maybe another couple moves to happen here. And, if they do, I'll take the trades. If they don't, I won't trade. I try to get myself into that sort of situation as much as I possibly can. Obviously, that's not every week for all of us. That's for sure. So have losing weeks, have winning weeks. This week has been a really good week trading the Nasdaq. I took an odd CAD trade to start the week off. Made I don't even know. I think it was like 60 pips, but wasn't a very large lot size whatsoever because it wasn't my own trade. But anyways, mainly other than that, just taking NAS. So here we are. This is the 4-hour timeline. If you guys have been watching any of my videos before, or obviously you're in my channels, you know that I trade NAS a lot. So there's been a lot of action back here. Of course, there was tons and tons of opportunity to take some good trades. I'm hoping that we're going to see this movement here. Obviously, again, would be great. I think what I'm targeting is 16,415 for the overall move. But I'm basically just intraday trading it and not swinging it. Trying out some new, I wouldn't say too new, but trying out some different entry points on these moves as opposed to just grabbing down here and then swinging. I'm just trying to get the maximum profit that I can on each move each day and see how I do at the end of the week with that. It's really the best way to put it. So as you can see, there's a fib in here. I'm going to take that out. If I can grab the dang thing. Okay. And we're going to start with trade number 1, okay, which is this one down here, which we took yesterday. So what we've been looking at this entire time here with NAS basically is the fact that we know that we're dealing with some pretty key levels in these areas. Obviously, we've had a breakout that got up and through, but massive rejection when it hit that new all-time high up here, and then it's been coming sort of down since. I'm not 100% sure what it's going to do from where it is at now. Bias is bullish on NAS always, so my guess is we're going to see it continue to the upside. So big, correction, up, correction, and then we come up and I think here we're going to see it, continue up, and then we reject a massive drop. We know, it's been pretty stuck in that area right there. I could draw a line there just so those who are visual can see that basically we're dealing with this being, sort of the top end of a lot of the moves. And then it set the low down here. And then, of course, rejected from up there. So, the other thing to kind of pay attention to a little bit is sort of what we're dealing with in this area too. So a lot of people like to draw a box. I do too. The rectangle is a really good way to sort of just grab all of it in there. And give you an idea that sort of in this area here, we know that in the past and, basically just a couple months ago, we've had a lot of decisions being made sort of right in there. This is where it dropped last time. It came back up here, obviously tested, broke up, tested again, and then we have it coming through. So we know there's a lot of orders that had been placed in both of these spots here. When it comes back down, seeing that same area be respected, and this time we see basically what happened here as well. Not exactly, but same idea. Comes down, finds this area as support and runs up. Touches back up on our top, right? Hits this little area. These great for sells when you see it, right? We got 1, breaks out, that don't count. You want to count this little guy in here as 2, you can. But realistically, we'll say, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like a whole bunch of times on the 4-hour time frame. We're seeing, pretty major rejections for lots of pips. And sort of the same with this area that we have in here, this box that we have in here. So basically, this one's pretty much based off of, that kind of setup, and understanding that pretty much at all times, the sentiment on the Nasdaq is that it's bullish. I think at this point it's okay to believe that long term the Nasdaq will continue to increase in volume. It's shown us nothing that says it would not. Of course, these are the top 100 technology companies. We know we're in a tech boom that doesn't necessarily have any sort of bubble to be burst or any insight to be had. So the idea that Nas is like forever bullish is something that you can kind of rest your head on. So I like to call it buying the dip, kind of like with cryptos. A lot of other people do too. They call it that. But basically, we're looking for it to drop down, and we can catch a good position and run it back up. You can see throughout all here. There's a whole bunch of spots in which it's tried to, respect this area, and it's broken through. It's broken up. But when it comes down here, we've had pretty solid rejections to the upside, right? So it looks fancy on the 4-hour chart, nice, like, oh wow, that's a good grab, like, why didn't you hold that through? So this candle right here is why, and I'll get into that next. So that leads us to basically what would be position number 2, or trade number 2 that I took today. So first thing we want to do is, we're on the 4-hour timeline. Let's break it down to the 15 minutes so we can actually see a little bit of like what's going on. Okay, so I should stretch this out a little bit. No, that's actually correct. So basically what ended up happening is we took our profits right in here. What made me a little nervous about this trade, and I think the best thing to do here is that. How do I? Well, whatever. So here we are in our 4-hour. We're looking for buys. It's our bias. We come down to our little area down in here, right? We have our first rejection, and we're thinking, okay, this looks good. Could be in a solid spot right now. It's coming up to the test, comes back down, okay? And we don't have any sort of support here to be had, but yet we still have it going up. Okay, so that means that we know that there are some buys. Like, we got some in here, okay? We got buys being pushed big time into this market at this point. So there still being a heavy amount of momentum to push down the sells, okay? It's still fighting it. So you don't always have to take it on the first time. You kind of want to be patient and wait to really get in and get in on the right spot. What ends up happening is, a lot of times it can come back down and people will just cut their position back at entry and not catch the rest of this trade. So you can wait for the better entry or just take it here and hold. But to be honest with you, obviously this is the better of the 2 entries. Of course, clears that, but it just is a little more comforting. So we have, a whole bunch of confirmations going on right now. But the 2 big ones at the very end here are, it's rejecting and then it pushes up. We have a break, comes back down to retest, rejects again, breaks, and we're through. You want to show on the 1 minute, which is, where I take the majority of my entries. You'll see pretty much exactly what I did. All right. So on the 1 minute, we have our big 2, and guess what? Bang, we got our third right there. I saw this come up and reject above. I knew that we were going to have some sort of push, and this was going to be a good entry as far as at least bringing it up for a scalp. If not, we're looking at, realistically, our overall bias is 4-hour bullish. So if we're on this guy and we're taking a look at, trying to really catch this move and run it back up, it's a really good spot. So taking a look at it on the 4-hour to see where we are, breaking it down on a 15-minute to sort of get an idea of what price action is starting to looking at. What, are we going to have a good solid rejection, or is it going to break through and continue to the bottom? And then breaking it down onto the 1 minute to get our entries in. So that was day one. Really good day. Made. I'll show them. I'll show some of the results after the video. I'll toss them in at the end, and you'll see that it was a really good week thus far for me. So I had this come up, and then let's go back down to the 15. I'll do it from here because it's a little easier. And basically what happened is it comes up and breaks down in here. I took my profits in here. Wasn't trailing my stop loss. I've just seen a lot of these plays from the Nasdaq, and comes down, came back up here, and when it started to break down below, that's when we all got out, basically right down in here. So when we knew that it was coming down for a second time, got out, secured the profits, grabbed a quick and easy 257 points on NAS, which is great. That's really good. Take that for day one. Okay, now we'll take this away so we can see a little better, and I'll tell you why I got in for number two. So 15-minute, I think this is a really good time frame to sort of give you an idea how this really looks. What we're looking for is knowing that Nas is bullish and this run has started. Okay, there's going to be some sort of drop. This is a nice little run right here. People are taking profits to get out. We still have a lot of buying power. There's a lot of different things that can happen up here, right? I like to think more often than not that we're trying to be like someone's trying to trick us out and basically let us know that, hey, how many people can I convince to get into this sell with me? And it's not. Sort of the opposite of the fake out breakout. Kind of is still a breakout because our quote-unquote support and resistance right here is broken. Therefore, we are in a sell, which is true until a certain point. And the question is why? So it could be a lot of volume that's still continuing on the sell down because this area in here is just a massive amount of buy orders. It's also potentially a nice liquidity grab, which it basically happened at 9:30 a.m. as you can see on my screen right there. 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, New York Stock Exchange open. What happens a lot on NAS, as I've said in my other videos, is we often see liquidity grabs. So they drive price down at open or up, depending on, counter the trend more often than not. This was nuts. It was, if I show you on the 1 minute, it was kind of all over the place when I did it. So yeah, here you go. So you can see, right to start, they're like, oh, we're going to break it down below. Oh, we're going to run it back up. Down, wick. Down, wick. Oh, we're going to come back up. And then they just ran it all the way down. So that's pretty much what happened at open. This is an hour later at 10:30. It's about right when I got in. Literally is when I got in at 10:30. I can stretch this to like right here. And you'll see why in a moment. So let's go back to the 15-minute because it's a little less noisy. And I'll show you exactly why I got in at that point. Okay? So we have a huge drop. We're in for our buy here. Okay? It comes up, tanks out on us a bit. We're out of our buy, right? Comes back up, doesn't break, and then we have our liquidity grab. Okay, cool. So if they're pushing price down right here, they're trying to get all of these buyers to be stopped out or to close their trades in, negative, whatever it might be. This is a classic, run everyone out of town so we can get price at a cheaper level to continue the move up. So what we do now is we take out our fib retracement tool. And we want to grab that from the very bottom of the start of this move, okay? So this is where we got in yesterday, right? And then let's go to the peak of the move from today, which is right there. Am I in the bottom of that? I got a little more to go down. Let's try to drag it. Okay. Perfect. Awesome. Okay, so it's not perfect, right? But that's okay. It's not supposed to be. It doesn't have to be perfect every time, guys, for these fib retracement tools. It's pretty damn close. Okay, so here's what happened. Here's our fib retracement tool, right? We know that the 0.5 to 0.68, right, this 50 to 61% zone is our quote-unquote golden zone. Whenever there's a breakout on a NAS and the test happens, more often than not, you will see 50% of the move cleared. In this case, we see the 61, almost 62%, basically. Pretty much is 62% of that move cleared, if we were to round up. So, comes down, here's our 50, right? Shoots up a little bit. I'm on the 1 minute when I'm watching this occur, by the way, in the morning. I'm really trying to get as much information as I possibly can on those time frames for my entry because I'm preparing myself, to see what this move's going to do, where is it going to go. So when it starts to break out is when I drew my fib tool and it literally smacked the 50 as I was pulling it up. We have a rejection. Okay, we're thinking this could be a pretty good spot for buy, and people certainly have buy orders in here. And then there's still some movement down. Comes down to the 61 and rejects it. Just literally touches it, wick. And we're thinking, okay, that's a good sign. Next candle pushes down, wicks up past. We have it turn bullish and stop above the 61%. That's when I got in for the trade. That was the quote-unquote sniper entry of the day. I took a second position here at 15,670, like 75 range, which was the 50 right when this move started to begin. It did it again here, faked out, wicked, and started to push out, and I took another position right here on it. And then it was pretty much just let's hold it and see where it goes for the rest of the day. Pushed up, we had some drop here. I took some partial profits on my trades, cut them, and basically now we're waiting to see sort of what happens with the after hours sort of action. The day closed on the minute with it just absolutely tanking through structure, and then it was pretty funny. It's like a liquidity or a take profit right in here, right? And then a bunch of people getting in for sells, and then boom, a liquidity move that just literally cleared them all out. I'll show you on the minute. It's kind of ridiculous. I took my profits when it started to push down in here. I took them. Like I said, I'm trying to do some intraday stuff with this and not really swing it up. I'll get another entry for tomorrow if I feel it necessary, but I've done enough this week that I'm quite okay with it. I have, obviously, if I continue to believe that this is going to swing to the top, which I do, I'll probably end up just taking sort of a lower size position if it drops down again tomorrow and sort of lines up in our fib again. I'll probably take like a nice lower size position and just let that run for the rest of the week and kind of hope for the best. Where I'm trading like a 0.01 and just swinging it to the top so I can maybe make an extra few $100s on this trade. So that's pretty much what we're looking at. That's the reason why I got in there. This is what it's doing so far. Ideally, we'll see where it peaks out, but if it peaks out, right up here, if this is kind of it, we'll say right in there. If that's what we're looking at, then let's keep our eyes open for, a potential drop down into here tomorrow. But with the way Nas moves, it might just, continue to the upside and do some wild, institution-style candles and just say, you know what, this move, everyone knows it's going to happen, let's just get it there, and run it straight back to the top. So far we've caught 100% of what's, gone on in this move thus far, which is really good. And I say that saying that, we didn't catch 100% of this move right here, but we caught, down here and then cleared everything we didn't get up here and caught, even more up there. So we're profiting, guys. We're doing really well on this one. But that's sort of how I trade the Nasdaq when it comes to get layering in a position on a swing, or just getting in on a position after the move has already begun. So gives you a really, really good eye on what that's supposed to look like. So, all right, guys, I hope it helped. Take it easy, enjoy. If you have any questions, drop a comment, like, subscribe, and hopefully some of these videos are helping you guys out. I'm gonna keep putting them out. I'm gonna keep working and working and working on them. I've been working on one. I think that I'm gonna put together. That's sort of how I traded my FTMO, how I passed it. I've had some people asking me about that, and yeah, we'll go from there. Thanks a lot, guys.